Movie talk. What's the one franchise that should die, that shouldn't exist and should go away forever? Well, there's a lot of good candidates. There's the Halloween movies, which were really just one movie, should have been just fine. One would have been more than enough instead of 50 years of the same fucking movie being remade over and over again. There's Transformers, where each story gets more and more elaborate. So there's a lot of bad franchises out there, but I still think Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, I think that would take the cake. I think that's one franchise that doesn't need to exist and really should have never been created. The prequel we want is the founding of Hogwarts. Okay, that's what everybody wants. Fantastic Beasts, you've got three of the worst actors in Hollywood: Eddie Redmayne, Catherine Waterston, and Ezra Miller, who's about 5 seconds away from getting canceled, I bet. And it's funny to me that everybody's like, oh, Johnny Depp, he's the one that's got to go. I'm like, yeah, watching Eddie Redmayne twitch and fitch and look around sideways, and, you know, his performances are so mannered and over the top and affected. But Johnny Depp, he's the one that's got to go. Although I do love Mads Mikkelsen, and he's probably going to be better. But I really believe that that's a franchise that it never was right from the beginning. David Yates is not a good director for fantasy and magic. I know he made some of the Harry Potter movies, but that's just because J.K. Rowling could kind of tell him what to do. The setting of World War II is really not a very magical setting. Who really looks at that time period as being a bristling with fantasy and energy type of setting? But what could be is the Middle Ages. If we were to go back and look 1,000 years ago at the founding of Hogwarts and the four houses that are built up. So we see the four houses, how they got created, the eventual falling out between Gryffindor and Slytherin and the leaders of those houses. I mean, that could be a real wizard series. And wouldn't it be interesting to see Hogwarts year one, the origin story of a school like that? I think we would all rather watch that. And my only problem is that Fantastic Beasts is such a flop, and it's gone from what maybe could have been a duology or maybe even a trilogy, but they're going to be 5 parts of it where there'll be nobody interested in a Hogwarts prequel by the time they get to the end of it, which is a real shame.